on a call recently with a guy that sells Facebook ads, and he was selling almost exclusively to local businesses. So dentists, doctor's offices, restaurants, that sort of thing. And I had to tell him, I told him these 3 stories that I'm about to tell you today. 3 stories that demonstrate why I'll never work for small businesses again and why enterprise is the place to be. So let's jump into it. I'm Alex Berman. When I first moved to New York, I was doing cold calling for a company called Vimbly. And we would go out, it was an event booking site, so we had to go and cold call a lot of different local businesses to try to get them on the platform. And it was a slog. And mainly that was because of the unpredictability. So here are 3 scenarios. Number 1, it's super competitive. So I was in an Indian restaurant a couple days ago, and I had ordered my meal and everything. I walked over to the checkout, and I looked over at the wall, and they had 6 different iPads. Well, 2 of them were iPads, I think the other 4 were Android, but they each were running a different app. One had Amazon's delivery service, one had Yelp's delivery service, like Seamless, Grubhub, they all had their own app. And I asked the woman who was running this, do the apps provide these iPads for you, or do you have to buy them? And she said she had to buy 6 different iPads to support the different apps, which paints a bigger picture, which is since restaurants and other local businesses are frequented by basically everybody, everyone eats at restaurants, they're the first to pop into our minds when it comes to business ideas, which means everybody's trying to sell to them. Having some competition in a market's good, but you never want to be competing with thousands of other people. And I can only imagine if they have 6 iPads already at their restaurant, how many people were pitching them that didn't get their SaaS or get their order platforming bought. It's an extreme example, but in B2B, it's a lot more accepted. For instance, you might only have one CRM at your company. We use Base, and there are dozens, if not hundreds of other CRMs to choose from. Pipedrive, Salesforce, like there's hundreds of them, and you can only pick one as a business. But if you are in the CRM space, at least you know the biggest player, Salesforce, has a terrible quality CRM. So there's a weakness there, right? Selling to local businesses and trying to do an order-taking platform, you're going to be competing with some very entrenched competitors. Seamless has an amazing platform. Amazon has an amazing platform. Uber is now building this delivery platform that's great. So there's just too much competition there. Point number 2 is local businesses don't check their email. I was talking to a client recently that sells to medical doctors, and he was saying, hey, cold email's not working. What can we do to fix it? So we took a couple steps back, did some market research, and we figured out that cold emails aren't working for doctors because, one, if you do get a doctor's exact email address, let's say he has 2 chances throughout the day at maximum to check his email. So he's probably going to mouse right by it or not even open the email. Or 2, if you are selling into doctor's offices, it's most likely going to go to the receptionist. And that receptionist is also super busy. So for local businesses, a lot of the times, and we were doing this at Vimbly as well, we tried a cold email campaign, did not work at all. A lot of the times you just have to cold call them because local businesses, they have to answer in case it's a customer. They don't have to answer the email. And for us on this channel, I'm a big proponent of cold emails for booking meetings. Cold emails will never work in a system where people don't check their emails. That's not saying that sales to local businesses don't work at all. There's other channels. So for instance, for this guy, his solution was drop-ins. Literally walking into the doctor's offices and trying to get an appointment that way. Another client we were talking to, I went through all of the lead gen channels that were working for local businesses, and the winner for him was going to live events. He was selling to chiropractors, and if a chiropractor is going to an event, usually they're trying to grow their business, so that was a good fit for him. Cold email might not be the marketing channel that you want to use for these local businesses, but you can find another marketing channel where they hang out. And then the third reason I don't sell to local businesses anymore is weird drama. My cousin runs a medical supply business that he's slowly taking over from his father. The father still works in this business 4 hours a day doing back office work. The son is completely stretched thin, and the wife's still in there. They're employing a lot of family. And the reason why I bring up that dynamic is when you're targeting a business that's maybe 5-6 employees and a lot of them are family, like a lot of these local businesses are, you'll run into these weird dynamics. So for instance, one time at Vimbly, we were trying to list a cooking class on our platform, and I had gotten the marketing guy completely bought in on why it's worth listing on our platform, why it was worth selling through, and then the deal just never closed. And I was able to follow up with him a couple weeks later and figure out like why it didn't close. And it was just he couldn't get his dad on board. And he didn't think we should have a meeting with the father. So there's a lot of weird dynamics like that that you never would run into with larger companies. So what's the solution, right? Solution is to go after enterprise companies. If you can target companies over 10 million in revenue, but at least target like 2-3 million in revenue where they're an established business, they're real, you're not going to run into any of these issues. If you find this video valuable, be sure to like it to encourage this type of content on YouTube, subscribe for more B2B sales training, and if you need marketing support for your digital agency, check out experiment27.com. Thanks.